All right, so let's start building out sort of like our first actor, which is going to be a like little block guy that looks similar to like a Lego character. So this character, I made it. I'm going to make a video tutorial on how I created it. It's not the most perfect model by any stretch of the imagination. They're kind of rushed for these examples, so the unwrap could be better and stuff. So when I make the actual tutorial on how I created it, if anyone's interested, I'll do a better job. So inside of here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and I'm going to make a new folder and just call it cab game. And this is just going to where I'm going to put all my content for the cab game. And I'm going to go inside of here. I'm going to make another folder in here and just call this models. Now inside of here, you'd make a player character, non-playable character, all that good stuff. And actually, you know what? Let's just do that. So I'm going to create a new folder. Call this PC for playable character. Create another new folder. Call this NPC for non-playable characters. So let's go inside of here and I'm going to right click and I'm going to go to import to current folder. And I'm just going to go to my desktop and grab my Lego People FBX. And I'm going to hit open. Now you're going to get this importer. This kind of shows you all of it. The default settings are pretty much fine, but what you want to make sure is when you go to materials here, it says import materials because I have the texture of the character embedded inside of the model. So I'm going to go ahead and hit import. And now you could see that it imported in my character as well as the materials. So here's like my Lego, and then this is the material that's attached to this character. You'll have to let me know or email me if it doesn't import this way. So we might have to shut it up. Another thing that is kind of interesting is if I was to just drag this guy in the scene, he's pretty massive, right? Oh, actually, it looks like one of the faces is flipped on this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix this before I fix this model before I send it to you. But for my example now, I'm just going to leave it alone just because I'm recording the lecture and I didn't notice that the face was flipped. Again, a lot of this stuff is rushed. So I'm going to hit F to focus, and you can see here's my little block guy um, that looks similar to a Lego character. Okay. So anyway, that's our block guy. So I'm going to actually delete the Lego person from the scene, and I'm going to go ahead and create the actor that this is going to represent. What's nice about a blueprint actor is it's kind of like they're like prefabs. If you're used to prefabs from Unity, where you can create a prefab of an object or this blueprint actor, and anything you do to that one actor, it'll update across all of the models. All right, so let's go back to our cab game folder here. Let's create another folder here, and I'm just going to call them BP for blueprints, this folder. I'm going to double click here. I'm going to create a new blueprint class, and it's going to be of type actor. And I'm just going to call this block biz guy. Okay, so this is our blueprint. And in the models folder, this is mostly our meshes. So I'm going to double click this, and I'm going to dock this inside of my scene here. Now, there's some things I'd like to add to this. Maybe a light that's glowing around the character, the mesh itself, and a couple other things. All right, so here's our default scene root. And so what I want to do is just right click on this. And actually, let's just click on this and hit add. And we're going to add a static mesh. Because our character doesn't have a skeletal mesh or like it's not animated, it's just static. We're going to go with a static mesh. And I'm just going to call this biz guy. And off to the side here where you see static mesh, I can click on none, and you could see we can scroll through here and it just shows us all of the static meshes we have in our game. And you can see here, here's Lego People, the name of the guy. So really it should have been named Lego Static Mesh. And I can actually go ahead and compile this and I can save it. And if I go into my scene now, I can actually grab, let's go ahead and rename this actually to the same way they do it. So I'm going to do BP underscore block business guy. Now we know that it's a blueprint. So when I drag it in my scene, you can see it's pretty huge. I'm going to hit F to focus, and I don't want him that big, but I also don't want to affect the scale. So I'm just going to position my first guy off to the side here. I'm going to go back into my blueprint class, and I'm going to scale down the biz guy model here. So let's say we go 0.2, 0.2, 0.2, and I compile and I save that. Now when I go back into my scene, you can see the character is much smaller. Let's hit F on this guy. Come on. Ooh. Wonder if my scene is just too small. Maybe he needs to be bigger. Let's see. Let's see how let's try something. I'm gonna go to modeling, grab another box. Yeah, you know what? That was if our cube is this big, our guy might need to be much bigger. So even this thing might need to have its scale adjusted. So let's increase the width. Oh, that's this cube. So let's cancel that. And I think everything just needs to be bigger actually. Um, so let's see, model, poly edit group, rotate around, grab this. And like I said, it is very sensitive. I don't know why. I have to look up why it's so sensitive. When I drag a marquee, crazy how sensitive it is. Okay. So let's drag this out. Let's see if maybe select this edge. And if I scale that out widthwise, maybe that's better. Okay, and then let's go back to our block guy here and make him maybe 0.5. And then compile and save that. And then we'll see how it handles the physics. And let's accept that. All right, so if I hit F on this guy to focus, still kind of small. We might just have to adjust all that stuff later. So compile, save, and let's see, save that. I don't know if that updated. I don't think it updated. Yeah, it did update. Interesting. All right, so here's our block guy. I'd have to focus on him. It's a little bit better. All right. So there's our block guy. And let's go back in here and set some of this other stuff up. All right, so let's see what else we can do in here. We can add audio. I wonder if I could add a point light. Yeah, there we go, point light. So if we add a point light in here, it's kind of huge. I just kind of want it to resonate from this character so we could see him. So let's make the light, I don't know, kind of a yellowish tint. And let's adjust the, let's see, source radius. Or no, the attenuation radius though. Let's compile and save that so we could see how that looks in our scene. So now you could see, I might actually just put it kind of behind him. So let's grab that point light, just move it behind him. So it kind of gives like a little bit of a halo effect. We'll move it a little bit closer to the ground. There we go. So we could see that this character, and maybe we'll build like a street light too. And so now, remember what I told you about, like, it's kind of like our blue, like they're reusable, right? So like anything I do to one, it'll do it to all of them. So if I hold Alt or Option, I drag it out, you can see I duplicated them, right? So I'm gonna extend this way out the street. And I just want to show you, like, I'm gonna modify the color of this light or something. You'll see that it updates on this guy too. So let's go in here, model, poly group edit, grab this, pull this all the way out here. Jeez, so sensitive. Okay, I'm gonna accept that, move this character here. And these are gonna be the folks that we pick up, right? So notice this is just a reusable or instance of this guy. So if I select that light and I'm like, you know what? I kind of like the idea of it being more of a blue. Compile and save that. You can see now they're both blue. All right, and that's it for this lesson. What we'll do in the next one is we'll actually start working on our taxi cab. And I think we need to give it even more room on the street to drive. So Again, part of your homework really is, polishing, doing things, going above and beyond the assignment. Because if both of you, two of you are applying for the same job and you're both using the exact same stuff, it's okay as a game designer, but you want to kind of show that you're doing a little bit more modeling, a little more design, a little more blueprint stuff. So it's okay to have that, like instead of two, you have like three of these guys, and then you know, you make another blueprint with a different color, right? Let's see. What am I doing here? Because I'm jumping between these different programs. There we go. 180. All right. So in the next lesson, what we're going to do is we're going to import our taxi cab, and we might even bring in more lights. Like start working on. We'll do a whole thing on lighting, and then once I get this all modified or working, like get this fixed, I'll show you how to import over an existing model.